Man walk around with a clipping, a newspaper clipping in his pocket.
Oh, that's the spelling bee champ.
Spelling bee champ.
I was proud of that. Young black man.
Flash the spelling bee champ.
Yeah, why wouldn't I? I'm a spelling bee champ. Of course, I got the trophy.
He dope though. He dope.
Listen. I
throw a word at him. Throw any word at him.
I can't spell anything, but
I'm saying you get busy.
You can throw a word. I could, that's why I say that. This what we're doing right here, bro. I'm saying thing, man. This is like, yo, son. I'm crying. This is what it is, yo. This is journalism. Always like that. Could have been a liar. Could have been a doctor. You understand?
You could have been a lawyer. You could have been a liar.
Yeah, you know that. But once again, peace to all my family and friends, and salutations to all my extended ones. First and foremost, dedicating this show, to one of my dear young friends that passed away the other day, Ryan. Peace, rest in peace. Today's topic is going to be about it's touchy right here for some people, I think. Parenting, and relationship with their kids. So, how will I deliver this?
Welcome to the Campfire Talk, the podcast. I am your host, whoever you want to call me, Harvey, Breaker, a.k.a. all of that. This is my co-host, Mario,
as you may well know.
Kiko the Vet, Sadat, Elefante, all of that. And like he said, today's topic we're going to talk about how, what's the value of relationships with a parent and a child. What parents should be doing with a child, our point of view of how parents should interact with their children. Situation happened a few days ago. A lady that I know, her child left the phone home while she went to school. And the lady just so happened to go through the phone, and when she went through the phone, she was going through first she went through the text messages and stuff like that. Then after that, she went to the the Google or whatever Google? Yeah, the Google thing where when you pull up stuff, whatever.
And you can see things.
So now when she pulls up the Google account, or whatever, she see a bunch of porn on a kid, phone, scrolling down it, and the things that she seen was like crazy to her. And I would tell a person fast in a heartbeat, man, you have to be on top of your kids, especially when they're young. It's hard. It's the hardest when you're dealing with a kid that's maybe 17 to 15. It's harder when you're dealing with a kid 14 to 12. It gets hard when you're dealing with a kid from 11 on down. But those on down all the way up to 11 are the ones that you have to pay close and most attention to these days. These days you have to, because I remember when my son was 9 years old, right before I went away and did a bid, I used to always check his book bag. And all the time, like randomly, rather. And I always used to he got little things in his book bag. Always taking stuff out of his book bag. All the time. A lot of parents don't even check their kids' book bags. I bet you. You can sit there, I check no, I bet you y'all don't. Y'all don't know. Half of y'all don't even know what these kids be doing. These kids doing startup shit for the future for them to be fucking up. People need to understand right now is the time to really be on top of your children, to really have an open relationship with your children. I mean, even if you have to, behind this pandemic, even if you have to keep a kid out of school one day or once or twice a month, keep that kid out so you can build with that kid. Because if you think about it, when you do the math, kid goes to school anywhere, and he go to school anytime between 6, 7:30 in the morning. 9 times out of 10, and I'm stretching this, a parent's working. So she's working, and then she may work from 4 to 5. Now this kid usually will get out of school about 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. Now, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 3 hours minimum that you're spending with your kids a day. These kids don't have no type of relationship with their parents. None. None at all. And these people are giving out these phones to these kids, giving out these laptops, these tablets, and all of that stuff to these kids young. These kids dope with these tablets. Little kids, you see it on TikTok all the time, how these little kids can get on top of stuff, and they know more about this stuff than me. And this is real deal. This is the parent. Laptops, phones, tablets. Those are the parent now. This ain't nothing that, I'm not telling you nothing that you don't already know. But it's something that probably need to be said so people can have an understanding of what's really going on, because this is not the reason of violence, but believe me, this is in the cooking pot of why kids do the things they do, why kids are disrespectful to their parents and stuff like that. You want to add on to this one?
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback off of what you're talking about, but not, my Lord. But anywho, yeah, I want to piggyback on what you're talking about, but my situation of what you're talking about is coming from another perspective as well. Speaking like relationships with your parents, it starts from the home. Even
you want to turn that off?
Yeah. Pardon me, y'all.
You know he get it.
Oh, shit. Forget about it. But listen, yeah, back to what I was saying, back to the lecture at hand. Yeah, like I was saying, my perspective of the relationship with parents and kids, it starts, like my man said, it starts from the home. It starts from way back, you know, and how you were raised as a child. And did you have that relationship with your parent, you know, regardless if the father was in a home or you was raised by your mother or your father, whatever, however, you know, because in hindsight, thinking back, when I had a relationship with my mother, you know, I wasn't neglected as a kid. As time progressed, I became a neglectful one to my mother.
Word.
You know, people be missing that part. It doesn't have to be your parent to be neglectful. You can become neglectful to your parents as you pursue to be revolt,
Word.
you know, to be rebellious,
Word.
you know. But what I'm saying is this, like, you know, just if you have to go to courses, to take courses for knowing how to be a parent to your children, do it. You know what I'm saying? Or don't be afraid to, you know, step to your kid. I know we live in a different era now, but take those lessons that you were taught from your parent from back then. If you know, had that relationship with your parent back then. I know some of us didn't have that, you know, and it was unfortunate, you know what I'm saying? Because times is hard right now. We all understand that, you know, especially when we come from, you know, the urban area, as they call it, however, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, because it's sad out here, but at the same time, it's no more unity. You know what I'm saying? When we was coming up, it was unity. You know, everybody is scared of the children nowadays, as you may well know. Or I call it cops. The children are so manipulative that they know what they be doing. But at the same time, you can't dumb down to your child.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't, you know, okay, well, I'm gonna get Facebook, I'm gonna give him Instagram, I'm gonna give him his phone. That's what neglect comes from you at. You know, you think you give him the TV, give him the phone or whatever, however, and you safe. No, that's not really safe. That's really deleterious. When I say deleterious, that's really unhelpful. That's really not connecting with your kid. That's really I don't want to blame anybody. I don't want to blame the parent, but yo, for real, you're to blame for that. Because you're doing that thinking you're doing something, but you're not. You're really making the situation worse than what it really could be. You know? So you gotta really be calculative on how you do things. I'm not saying walk on eggshells with your child. I'm not saying be stringent to your child or be a Sergeant Slaughter, because I found myself at sometimes like really being like real stringent with my kid. But then you know, I had to tune it down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Because yo, I have a relationship with my children, proud to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and it's beautiful. You know, even I had to take a course. I took a course on my own relationship though. You know, pardon me, I want to show y'all something right here. Here's my accolade. No matter where it came from, just know that I got it. And it helped me along the way. As I took some of my mother information from a child, I took hers and I balanced it off with what I learned. And with this right here, my parenting skills diploma. You know, no matter where it came from me being incarcerated. Okay, however.
Right.
I did it though, on my own volition. I didn't have to do that. It wasn't court ordered. You know, I just wanted to cover the whole game. I took a lot of courses, and that helped me build a relationship with my daughter, my oldest son, and my little man that's 11 years old right now. You know, and sometimes I look at my little man, he's 11. I'll be like, yo, I gotta get him. You know, Amara, I love you. But yeah, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to step up to your child and ask him questions. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Whatever, however it may be. You know, just be open with them. I mean, you gotta be their friend, but you have to be a friend to a certain degree. You gotta know how to be their friend to where you're not their friend where they can just talk to you any kind of way, because they will.
The communication is really
Beautiful. Communication.
Let me piggyback off that.
Go ahead.
You are fortunate to have your kid at 10, 11. I went away when my son was 10. Came home when he was 17. So he grew up without me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Grew up without me.
And that's a precious age. You see that?
And if anybody know him, ask him all the time. I tell him, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry for leaving you out here. Because I put in a lot of work with him. And I was straight where I could have just said, fuck the streets and just focused on him. Because he was dope in football. He was like one of those triathlon type dudes. He could do anything. He played baseball, basketball, football. He could do it all. Soccer, everything. He was nice. He played football, tough. And I left him like when he was like really into it heavy. And no one was there to push him to do what, you know what I mean? Like really stay on it.
Exactly.
Stuff like that. You know what I mean? So he got caught up on being a child without a father. Being that I went away for those years. You know what I'm saying? Went away for those years and come home. He basically a man. You know what I mean? Like it's something that I would tell these fathers out here. If you come home, if you go to jail and you come home to your children, man, be a father to your child, man, for real. Focus on your kids, yo. To all of these females that really be trying to like snatch dudes away from their kids and stuff like that. I mean, if the dude trying to do the right thing, give him that. Let him be that. Let him be the father to his child. Now, of course, there's some dudes out here that ain't gonna never be shit. That's pieces of shit all day, every day. I mean, that's not gonna indulge or participate in a child's life. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the ones that do, man, give them that space to be able to be a father to their child. That's very important. You know that old saying that we always say, that people always say all the time, it takes a village to raise a child. Even the father. Whatever help he can provide, let that guy do it. And it goes to what you were saying also, like some people really need parenting classes because these days, parents don't really raise their kids right anyway. Some of these kids be Looney Tunes. They be already nuts anyway.
And the parents be scared of them.
Yeah, they be nuts. The grandparents was nuts. I mean, it's just, the grandparents was nuts and skipped the generation. Now the kids crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids crazy, man.
And that goes back to dysfunctional families and things of that nature, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people, you know, we know families, dysfunctional families that come from junkies. I know people like that, though. That dysfunctional families that come from junkies. And it's crazy. With the word dysfunctional, that goes back to parenting and having a relationship because things get in the way of that. You know what I'm saying? You know, you come from a dysfunctional family. When I say dysfunctional family, I cover the whole gamut, you know, because sometimes we think about dysfunctional families, we think about abuse, drugs, people, his mother alcoholic, his mother on drugs, but no. It's bigger than that. It's way more than that. The word dysfunctional, you have to look it up and sit back and gather it like, damn. A single parent, that family could be dysfunctional. You was raised in a single home, your mother and your father wasn't around, even though your mother was sane in mind and she raised you right with scruples and things of that nature and etiquette, but somewhere along the line, it was dysfunctional because, you know, she couldn't do the things by herself. You needed that father in your life.
Right. I mean, the boys definitely need their fathers. Girls definitely need their mothers. These girls don't even know how to make macaroni and cheese, man. They over the stove with it, man. They craft macaroni and cheese in it, then try to make it look sexy, throw little crumbs and stuff on top of it like they really baked it in the oven. Knowing y'all didn't do that, man.
But not only
like these kids don't know no etiquette, nothing.
But not only that, Brave, not only just the food part of it. And like I said, let me say this one thing. We're not trying to sit here and excoriate, criticize anyone or land-based woman or man, but we just tell them like it is. You know what I'm saying? Like Rick just said, the food part. But I'm talking about the mental part, me, myself.
Yeah, but what I'm saying,
we balancing the diet.
The reason why I'm saying the food is because think about the things that girls learn how to do early.
It's cooking.
Cook and clean.
Exactly. As they should.
You know what I'm saying?
I cook and clean, but I didn't cook.
Right, but I'm just saying, this
Yeah,
is what women
I know.
But when you have a lot of women, a lot of young ladies don't have women in their lives to be constructive, to show them how to the proper dynamics of cooking and cleaning.
True.
A lot of girls don't really know how to cook. They may think they know how to cook, but the basic stuff, they might make some shrimp. You know what I'm saying? There's some like basic shit they might cook. But at the end of the day, when you know how to throw down, if a girl know how to throw down a Thanksgiving meal, 9 times out of 10, that girl got some sense, man. She might do some crazy stuff, but she got some sense. She know how far to go. And I'm not trying to put no stigma on why this person is this way and that way. But the truth is, at the end of the day, a lot of people don't have proper etiquette because they don't get it from home. You can't. How you gonna expect a person to be a certain way when they're not a certain way in their house?
True.
And then nowadays, on top of all of that, when the kids go to school, they raising each other. So now they congregating.
Oh, wow.
They get together. They congregating. They building on some nut ass shit. Straight craziness, man.
Hey, yo, Skipper.
Eating edibles in school.
You know, and that goes back to when we was coming up. We had friends like that their mothers would allow them to raise their little brothers.
But that was far few in between, though.
But no, what I'm saying, I'm going back to relationships. You know,
right.
That's not having a relationship because you think you got a relationship because you allow your child to hang out late at night. That's not a good. That's parents would think like that. I got a relationship with him because that's not really cool.
Yeah, thinking that they cool because they let them do.
Yeah, you want to be a cool parent. That's not the way to be cool. I'm a cool parent, but it's definitely it's a boundary though.
There's no coolness.
But I'm saying that's relationship. People, we have our relationship with our child mixed up, and coming up, like I said, I don't like to go back to the days, but I have to go back to the day. That's what kept me afloat to now with the relationship of my children, my mother ways of raising me with the mannerism and the etiquette, the prescribed manner that I have. You know what I'm saying? That I inspire in my children. And like I see a lot of mothers and fathers that I come across that I do know, bro. The relationship is twisted, distorted, contorted, but it's not my duty to even, discuss that matter with them because sometimes.
Wait a minute. Part and self.
Yeah.
What about the parents? What about the mothers that go out with the daughters? What about the fathers that ride dirty low in the passenger seat back with their sons? What about the fathers that even be on their blocks hustling with their sons?
I'm not your friend, son.
Yo,
I'm not your friend.
I
say when my kids start, every time I write them up, every time their birthdays come up, whatever, guess what I put at the edge? Papa, don't take no mess.
That's funny because that's my signature.
And they know that.
Shayla, that's my signature song.
Papa don't take no mess. And I'm that serious, and they know that.
That's the signature song, man.
And people used to try to tell me when I came home back in 2010 because my daughter, she was 3 years old when I went away. So when I came home, she was 9. She was a little standoffish to me. So I said, you know what? I know what I need to do. Everybody kept telling me, you gotta build a what's the word I'm looking for? A bond with her, Mario. Shut the fuck up. Listen, I don't know what I'm gonna do. In my mind, I'm saying, I know what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go back to the parenting skills, what I learned. I'm gonna go back to my mother ways. And guess what? It's a beautiful thing. My baby daughter, I caught her earlier before we did this podcast right here because I wanted to know what our relationship was like. And I called my son Irene, my oldest. Pops, we're proud of you. Yeah, we got a good relationship. That was beautiful. You see, that was so hard. You know what I mean?
What's the problem? Everything all right over here? Who you know? Sounds specific. Somebody over here get that. Yeah, but that's a beautiful thing, though.
You gotta have those. He was like you said, yo.
And then I got my little grandson and my granddaughter.
Don't be afraid. If you gotta get this, go ahead. Take a time out. Think it to yourself. Maybe I do need some courses. You know what I mean? I didn't even need this course. I didn't have to take this, but I took it along the way with my mother's skills that she raised me with. Whether it's old-fashioned or however, I'm flexible with my children. I give them a little latitude. I let them hang themselves. So,
yeah.
I got a relationship. That's all that matters.
That's it. But
I don't give a fuck
then
about
the relationship spawns to like co-parenting.
Yes.
The co-parenting thing is mean. Like it gotta be some type of resolution if people have a beef or some type of discrepancy with each other. The mother, the father, the father, the father, the mother, the mother. You know, it's a melting pot with these relationships nowadays. It's mothers on mothers. I'm waiting for the fathers on fathers to come out. Come on out, y'all. We know y'all around. But you know, people have to learn how to co-parent with each other. People got to learn that it don't always have to be sex involved. It don't always have to be money involved. It don't always have to be these what they call that's in the middle from the A to Z to in between to get to where y'all need to go to. It should just be basic parenting. Yo, this is what we need to do to raise our child if they're not in the household together. You know what I mean? Like some people really don't know how to co-parent. That's terrible, man. They don't if they don't know how to co-parent, that's like 3 shades away from like non-existent. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people don't focus on what they should be doing. A lot of people only focus on what they want to do.
And how they see fit.
Word.
But that goes back to simplicity. You know what I'm saying? It's a simple, like
God's simplicity is simply our complexity.
Exactly.
Wow.
Isn't it ironic?
I mean, the simple things in life, man, we don't pay attention to. But I just think that if people were to like really take a day and deal with one child, if they got 1 child, 2 child, 3, 1 child, 2, 3, 4, whatever, and they deal with them kids day for day, because all kids, if you got 3, 4 kids, you know they're looking for the same type of time, the same type of attention, especially if it's in sequence. If it's, you know what I mean? If those numbers like 5, 4, 3, 2, if it's in sequence like that, them kids gonna want the same attention because they being raised the same way.
And yo, Skipper,
What's happening?
what you just said, right? So I came from a home where my mother had 8 boys, right? And no one was treated with the favoritism. I had to learn as I got older. My mother treated everybody accordingly to which brother needed to be treated like they needed to be treated.
Well, that's old school though.
But I know, but that's what got me the relationship with my kids, because I don't treat nobody different. I tell my kids that you won't get treated different, such, and they realize that and they know that. What I'm saying, going back to what you're saying, that's what needs to be incorporated, and that's why we sitting here trying to inculcate y'all, teach y'all, inculcate, underline that, it's teaching. You know, trying to show y'all that, and that's what we're trying to get at y'all. Though, listen, take some time out. You know, I'm not the greatest parent. I'm still going through hurdles.
None of us are.
You know, but I'm saying you have to acknowledge that.
But
though.
still sharp and still.
Exactly.
As long as each one teaching one, man, the learning abilities become even greater. I mean, come on. People got to understand and know that if you don't know something else, it's so easy now to learn shit. It's so easy to learn how to cook. YouTube is the bomb.
It's right there for you.
By the way, check out Campfire, the podcast on YouTube. CFT podcast on YouTube. Go ahead, Kate.
Skipper Elefante, that is.
Word.
Yeah, so that was the topic today that we wanted to touch down on. I mean, you know, we probably got a little antsy and a little hesitant before we really delivered it, because it was kind of like...
You know, but let me go back to that YouTube thing right quick, Kate. When a person don't know, like just say like it's so easy. Right now you can learn how to fix a car for YouTube. You can learn anything off of YouTube. You can pull anything up, anything you want to know, you can pull up on YouTube. So if y'all have problems, even if you got problems spelling, man, go on YouTube or go online, do something. But trust me, to help, because it's not the end all be all, but to help stop all of this craziness that's going on with these relationships between parents and kids, it has to be communication, man. With any type of relationship, man, woman, woman, kids, grown-ups, whatever, it has to be communication. It's very, 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 very essential for anybody to understand this right now. You have to be able to have some type of open line of communication. But we're dealing with the mathematics, and all the gods and earths know this. Understanding is the best part. It precedes the true essence of what you are dealing with. Believe me, You have to have understanding. So just in case if your kid do some crazy stuff, some off the wall shit, man, you have to be able to step outside that circle of you dumb mother, you stupid, to be able to have an understanding and say, damn, why did you do that? You know what I mean? Instead of just looking at a kid for being fucked up in the head or doing some crazy shit, jump outside of the circle and say, why did my kid do that? Now, once you jump outside of it, now you can attack it better. Because in the boxing ring, the boxer only see what the boxer see what's in front of him. But that trainer over there, off that ring, he see everything. You know what I mean? So that's when you step outside of yourself, you like the boxer, but then when the bullshit happen, you step outside of yourself and become the trainer. Now you're able to see all the stuff that's going on. So now you can critique, fix things up, and try to make it as better. Look, one step better is better than none. One step better is better than none.
True indeed.
You know what I mean? But people just gotta focus, man, and just really understand the relationship between a parent and a kid is very important now. We see all the violence that's going on. We see all of the stuff that's happening with this violence. It's terrible. Every day is something going on.
And you know, the crazy thing is, coming from our neighborhood, our kids are doing a lot of copycatting from the other kids. I mean, I don't want to get into that part right now, but still, please, parents, don't be afraid, to step to your children and ask them questions. Don't release your inhibitions to your children. Let them know that I'm aware of, what you're doing, and please do not let anyone else try to intervene in how you should raise your child or raise your children, because that's another problem too. You heard me, Skipper? People taking advice instead of suggestions and listening to somebody advise them and thinking, oh, I should do it like this. He just told me, or she just told me, or the teachers, the school, why you need to put your kid on medication? But see, that's don't let them. Have a relationship with your child. It's your relationship. They only got your kid for 4.5 hours a day. Now they want to, try to tell you, oh, we think he's doing this. He's like this. Well, he's not like that at home. You're not going to do that. We're not going for that. Parents, please, don't let them rape your minds. Pardon me with the rape part, but I had to get deep like that.
Well, but that's serious, though.
For real, though, man. Please don't do that, because it's like mind-boggling to me sometimes when I see this, and the parents be bowing down to that. I see a lot of parents bowing down to letting the teachers have more of a relationship with their kids than they do. Come on, how was that?
Bipolar, schizophrenic, and all of that stuff.
And catatonia.
Man, we've been, somebody back in the 80s, somebody had a kid that was tripping. It was one kid that was tripping. I can name a few right now. I got one kid in my head. Man, me and my man was just looked at a picture of him on Facebook the other day. We just looked at a picture. I said, man, look at him, man. He handsome now. I said, look at him, man. He cleaned up a lot, but this kid was terrible.
In school and everything.
Woo! Terrible, man. Man, and I'm gonna say a story, and I'm sure if he look at this, he'll know just what I'm talking about. One day, this dude kept picking on him on Enfield Street. He came from out of the yards and busted the kid upside his head with the stick. Now, if you know this story, you know who I'm talking about, man, please, man, when you see me post something, man, just laugh at it, because you know exactly what it is. This is one of the kids right here that was wicked, but he changed his life.
He was younger than us,
changed his life. He's younger than us. You know what I mean? But nevertheless, that's my guy. I love him. You know what I mean? I love him. I don't see him often, but I love him. When he do see dudes like us, man, he always give it up.
Salutations. He's in a good space right now.
Word. Yeah, he's real. Like, he's doing excellent right now. Like, really good, man. But we're going to wrap this up for y'all, right? Just pay attention, man, to everything. How do you say? Pay attention to your circle, because the ones that's in your circle be the ones that will hurt you. Pay attention to your kids, man, because at the end of the day, if you don't, those will be the kids that you'll be talking about going to court over, behind them doing something that they shouldn't have did if you didn't catch them early enough to be able to, when you give them kids that room, man, they going to run wild, man. They going to run them up like real animals. Pay attention to your kids, please.
Yo, can I say something? Go for it, before we disperse. Not just pay attention. Do not pay attention to the big picture. Pay attention to the detail of your children. Please. Detail is everything. And that's what I do with my children. Don't pay attention because they look good. They got the new kicks on. You know, my baby some Jordans. Pay attention to the detail. You gotta cover every aspect of it to show how your child moves.
Then don't be afraid to go up in that room and check them drawers and check them closets and stuff.
On their drawers, I done did that.
Check that.
Tatiana, you don't know that you too.
Nothing wrong with research, man.
Yeah, my mother did it to me. Why I want to do it back again?
You never know what you might run up on.
Exactly. But it's time out. It's time up. What's to come up?
Give it up, baby. Let's get to it. You know what it is. Get on the court.
Thought for the day? Let me give you thought for the day real fast. I want you to see what it's going to be. Okay, capture this. Tell me what you think about it next week. However, life without endeavor is like entering a jewel mine and coming out empty-handed. Should I say that again? Life without endeavor is like entering a jewel mine, and coming out empty-handed. Capture that. Tell me what you think about that. Shorty Trip.
Can't Fire the podcast. Same bad time, same bad channel. We'll see y'all there. Okay, let's get on right.
Collegiate Mom.
Love y'all.